Turn me up just a little bit. Yeah, it's that man space vibe. Step in the zone, microphone check. Russ and Less got the real intellect. Talk smooth like jazz on a late night set. With a convo deep and the topics connect. From the struggles to the wins, they address it with grace. Drop lines so cool, you can feel the bass. Two kings of the craft, and you know the rest. Kick back, pour a drink, welcome to the space. You go chillin' with Russ and Less. You go chillin' with Russ and Less. You go chillin' with Russ and Less. Hang out, cause now you vibing with nothing but the best. Space forever.
Welcome into another edition of the Man Space Podcast. Now, this is the voice of Russ, and with me, as always, who's secretly watching Masters of the Universe on his phone when he should be doing the podcast, the one and only Big Les.
Stop it. Why are you telling people on me? What's up, bro?
I knew you didn't go to the movies to see it, so it's on Prime now. So
hey. I got a bunch of TVs though. I can't watch it on the phone. I just can't do it. It's too. Yeah, I need the full kind of experience. So yeah, I can't do it on the phone. But hey, kudos who can.
Yeah, no, I have every option available over here. Usually, if I'm sitting at my desk doing stuff, my phone is running with something on it, or I may be turned sideways looking at the TV, or my tablet sitting over here watching something. Because a lot's come out of late, man. There's the new season of King of the Hill. Season 15 of King of the Hill, 10 episodes. Great. I've watched all 10 episodes. The season 2 of Avatar: The Last Airbender is out now.
Yeah, I watched all of those already.
Season 2 was fantastic.
I watched it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so it's a lot going that's out right now. It's a lot to watch. So I have to multitask and do work and edit and all that at the same time while I'm watching movies.
Well, you're a better guy than I am, because when I'm locked in, I'm locked in. I'm watching the movie or I'm scratching, one of the two. But it is what it is.
I'm not going to ask what you're scratching.
Don't worry about it. I'm focused, man. Just say that. I'm focused.
But speaking of focus, Les.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you're a hot tub guy.
Yes.
But are you a pool guy?
Not really, no.
No.
Too many people.
I'd like to enlighten the Man Space Nation when I find out things. And there's certain things that I've just found out, right? Because I was gonna go to the gym, right? So I joined the gym a few months back, and what really got me was this gym has a pool, and they have aerobics classes in the pool, right? And I'm like, okay, I haven't done that in a long time, and I'll go out there and do that because I have a bad knee, and it's less impact, right? But I went back there, and the smell of chlorine was just so intense, strong. And I was like, I can't do it. So I just will not go in there just because the smell is so strong. Well, then I ran across this video.
I knew it.
Oh my gosh, I heard the best story. I don't know if this is a story or fact. Apparently, when you smell the smell of chlorine, do you know what you're actually smelling? That's the smell of what chlorine smells like when urine touches it. You're not supposed to smell the chlorine. If you smell the chlorine, it means there's pee in the pool. Just FYI.
I ran an experiment to test if it's true that chlorine scent you smell from a pool is really just from pee. So I got 2 identical buckets and filled them both with pure water. Then I added 4 times the recommended concentration of chlorine for that volume of water to both buckets. And then finally, as the only point of difference, I added just a little bit of pee to bucket B, and then I let them sit for a day. And so then it was time for the smell test. First, bucket A, that was just chlorine and water. So that doesn't smell like anything. That smells just like water, even though this has 4 times the recommended concentration of chlorine for this volume. And then it was bucket B's turn. What? This smells like a pool. This is a nostalgic smell. This smells like summers and vacationing at hotels with pools and water parks. Turns out it was just pee.
I knew it. I seen the first video. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, seals it for me. I already knew this. That's why I don't do pools.
Well, now we know. I can't unsee it. I can't unhear this. Even if it's not true, I can't unhear this now. So now I'm happy that we have a nutritionist that's gonna help me find better ways than getting in the pool to get myself up and get myself back in shape.
Well, maybe he can dispel the pee rumor. I don't know.
I don't think that's his specialty, but I'm sure he's a very talented guy, but I don't think dispelling the pee rumor is his specialty today. So
we'll try with the next
guys.
Yeah.
Right. But today we're going to talk about something a lot of men go through, and usually in silence, and it's the gap between the life that they built and the body that's carrying them through it. Our guest today, he is the head coach of the elite program, Trevor Kashey Nutrition. He's a former Army Ranger with 4 combat deployments, and he brings the same discipline and structure, helping high-performing men reclaim their health. Manspace Nation, give it up for our guest, Mr. Ben Fudge. Ben, welcome.
Great to be here.
Welcome in.
Well,
the kids were a little late for the applause.
Get
but
some
there it is.
applause. I love it. Well, and fun fact there, Russ, I actually grew up in a pool. You know, I was a swimmer for since as long as I can remember, Russ. I was a swimmer. I grew up around pools. I spent the better part of my entire life swimming, and so I am now almost regretting my entire athletic upbringing. So I appreciate that. Thank you for the midlife crisis at the ripe age of 35.
All right. I am glad to be of service. So one of the most important questions we're going to ask you right here. Did you ever pee in the pool?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm not even I can't start this off on that sort of note. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there are times you might be in the pool for swim team, you might be in the pool for 2.5, 3 hours, and it's like, you think your coach is going to let you? It's just, you guys have been in the Army. You just got to go. You got to go. You got to go.
Oh my gosh, that is true. Yeah.
There you go. He dispelled it.
And that's the one time nobody would notice a pee spot. Nobody would notice it. So,
well, apparently chlorine makes you smell like, chlorine is pee. So
it already, it already smells like chlorine when you jump in there. So it's all good.
The bad part about it is you always thought that smell was a clean smell.
Right.
Oh, the pool is clean. Right.
That's what I thought. I just thought they were doing renovations in the area. So it was just that extra strong chlorine smell in there. So I was like, I'll wait till it dies down a little bit, but
it's urine, people.
It's pea soup.
Pea soup. The new pea soup.
Well, so that just sealed it all up. Yep.
Right. If you could share with the Manspace Nation a little bit about yourself and who is the man Ben Fudge?
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm a man that almost couldn't decide what to do if you've looked at my general biography. So as we talked in the pre-show, originally from Ohio, went to Miami University down in Oxford, Ohio, just right by Cincinnati. Graduated with a degree in finance and thought, you know what, I'm going to be the youngest CEO of Procter & Gamble. Was going to make all the money in the world. But then it was one of those things where I was sitting in the investment banking office one day, looking out the window, going, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life?
Right.
9/11 had still been very formative in my life, and I wasn't getting any younger. And so I was like, if I don't join the military, if I don't join the Army, I'm not ever going to do it. And so I decided that after graduation, I enlisted in the Army. I was going to be a knuckle dragger. And I was like, I wanted to deploy. And so I was like, point me in the direction of the nearest special operations force that is deploying. And the recruiter was like, where do you want to go? Originally started in the special forces pipeline and decided, you know what, that wasn't for me. And so moved over to the Ranger Regiment, where I spent my almost entire career, either operationally, spent about 10 years out at 2nd Ranger Battalion out in Joint Base Lewis McChord, Washington. And then after a pretty tough deployment, or a really tough year, few tough deployments, decided, you know what, I needed a break for my own mental health, as well as just kind of a break in general, and then moved down to Fort Benning, Georgia, and ran the first phase of the Ranger Assessment and Selection Program. During that time, I met a man by the name of Dr. Trevor Kashey, because we graduated Ranger School, and the adage was that when you graduated Ranger School, you just got fat. And so I asked Dr. Kashey, I was like, I know you're big into this nutrition thing. I know you're a smart guy. I know we got some friends. And he hit me with the most fundamental wisdom that anybody could do. And it sounded so stupid at the time, but he was so right. He goes, Ben, do you see what they do? The other people that have gotten fat after they got back from Ranger School, because I lost like 60 pounds in the equivalent amount of days. And he goes, don't do what they do. And just breaking it down to that simple of kind of explanation was exactly the same sort of approach to like nutrition that, well, I'm sure we'll get to it later. But then it just sparked a friendship from there. Was like, oh my gosh, like, how do you turn this stuff into action?
Right.
With leadership, with nutrition. And so it became a natural transition of, once I finished my time, I was medically retired from the Army last year, that I was like, I want to help more people do awesome stuff. And believed very firmly in what Dr. Kashey teaches, where the mind goes, the body follows approach things. And so over the past almost year and a half, I've been the coach of the men's division within Trevor Kashey Nutrition. And we've been helping just people to live lives on purpose with purpose.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow. Now, I want to go back to something, because you basically just volunteered for deployment. Like, what was your childhood like to say, you know, was it that I need to get away from here that bad that I want to?
Oh, honestly, had a great childhood. I mean, it's a very interesting sort of question there, Russ. Is I had a great childhood. Honestly, grew up wanting for not. Both parents were there. I remember the thing I remember very vividly that drove me to the Army was 9/11. And I think I had ultimately made up my mind during that time. I remember both my parents worked. And I remember coming home from school on 9/11, and my mom was home. That wasn't normal. And I remember she met me and my sister at the door, and she said, I thought I should be home for this. And I watched 9/11 on TV, and I watched it happen, and I watched the ramifications. And I think at that point, something in me clicked, where it was like, I felt compelled to serve in a greater purpose. And ultimately it was like, I wanted to be the one that was kicking down doors, sneaking around in backyards in the middle of the night, doing that sort of thing. And as I learned, it was like I could have gone the officer route, but I also learned that officers didn't do that. And so I wanted to be the guy. Exactly. Planning strategy and contingency planning and training and leading and doing, and like had some really tough times through it all too, and learned a heck of a lot about myself over the career.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that is awesome. First of all, thank you for your service.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is tremendous. And the mindset and the mentality, you know, I applaud, you know, everything that you went through to get to this point. And for those that just sat back, you know, to be able to go out and defend their freedoms, then that is a heck of a sacrifice to make. And so we definitely hats off to you on that.
I appreciate that.
I dropped a couple Rangers off before. Was it in the aviation guy, Black Hawks?
Absolutely. So, it's all a team, you know. There's a whole system that goes into it where like, and I think that's the thing that even Rangers, even special like guys get caught up in a bit, especially young guys, where it's just like this is a team effort sort of thing. It's like we don't get on the ground without aviation, we don't get on the ground without intelligence, we don't get on the ground without XYZ just all falling into place, and then we do it all over again, right? It doesn't just stop at us, because then it flows right back to you. You know, like in the aviation, in the logistics, and the signal, it all feeds the monster.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think since all three of us are vets, you know, everybody's got a different reason, you know, for why we joined and what we got out of it. And, you know, and I think it made us, to get on this subject a little bit, I think it makes you a better person in a sense. Your thought processes are different. How you saw the world versus how you went through it, and then now how you see the world are three completely different things, you know, and it just really depends on where you're at that ending point, you know. And we've all, like I said, we've all done our own things. We've all had experiences in the military, you know, and, you know, I applaud anybody who does service, you know, at that level, you know, because they told me I couldn't go to Ranger school, so I don't know what happened with that, but you know,
it's a lot of walking, a lot of not eating, a lot of not sleeping. I'll tell you that much. That's all it is. I saw those guys at the I saw those guys at the 75th in Savannah all the time. All the time.
Like, it's like every time we were running the backyard, you know, those guys are humping it out, 70-pound packs, you know, and they're still doing it by the time we're eating lunch, you know. So it
never stops. It never stops.
Never stops. Yeah.
I got to Fort Bragg, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna go airborne, right? And I'm sitting there in replacement, and I see that Welcome to Fort Bragg video, and my vision was like the Golden Knights. They come down all nice and easy, you know. It's like, oh, you just tiptoe down on the ground on the helicopter. I see this video, and I see these guys go splat in a big cloud of dust. I was, oh hell no, I'm not doing this. Oh hell no, no way.
Your knees and your back, thank you nowadays.
Right.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad to see that you spend time in the service. That's a good thing. And you're still a young man, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll get into this more, but one, I appreciate what you guys do and what you guys stand for as well. Like, because this common ground, understanding that men can talk about hard things and the things they've gone through in the community, like allowing people to love and support you is a big thing with coming out the other side and understanding that people who have served aren't alone.
Yeah,
absolutely. 100%. 100%, you know, because that's one of the biggest things that we see is that people who have never served don't understand the mindset and the mentality a lot of times of what these men and women have gone through. And then when they try to get out the military and reassimilate back into the regular world, it's a lot of times it's very difficult for them.
It's extremely
And so
difficult.
not having those support or avenues to be able to help them, it's tough. I can tell you there was a number of times that I saw guys get out and I hop into formation a month later, and then I look down and they're back in formation. I'm like, I thought you got out.
That was
nothing
almost
on the
me.
outside for me.
That was almost me.
I think almost everyone has those thoughts as the enlistment contract starts to creep up. You're like, what am I doing? And it's so
Right.
true. Even one of the things that we preached a lot in the Ranger Assessment and Selection Program was we train our candidates for their hardest day of ground combat. And I can tell you, Russ and Les, my hardest day of ground combat had nothing to do with combat. It was coming home. It was coming home after a deployment where we lost a couple of guys, and having to come back to reality and come back to the real world and come back to the questions that you knew you were going to get. And I remember I was a squad leader at the time. How do you prepare your guys for that? The guys that you've just gone through some hard times where your buddies have gotten killed, you've put them in the ground, you've just been isolated, and then you come home and people are just asking questions. What happened? You've just started to heal, and then that scab gets ripped right back open. And how do you lead guys through that? And it was a very challenging time.
And that's why it's important too that we have that community of like-minded guys, the people that can talk to each other. And here's the thing: a lot of times you just got to sit back and listen. You know, because people just want to get things off their chest. They don't necessarily need a dissertation on what they should do next. You know, they just need to regurgitate it, say it, get it off their chest, and keep it moving. You know, I'm one of those type of guys. Just let me vent. Let me get it out, and I can keep moving. You know, but the more you stop me and the more you want to ask me questions, that's where then I retreat because I'm not getting what I need. You know, but conversation is good. You know, open conversation is good.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I'm going to pull us back in a little bit because we're getting way off our real focus. And I want to get into something this trend that has been really sweeping basically the entire world right now, which is GLP-1s. And I want to ask your opinion on them because you're dealing with a lot of the nutritional aspects for men to try to help men understand their nutritional needs. And a lot of times if they can just do that, there's no need for the GLP-1s. But there's a lot of men, there's a lot of women that are out there using these medications. And now there's so many of them that you can get online, even without going through medical guidance. Like I sat down with my doctor and we talked about them, and he was telling me, and I don't know if this was true or not, or if he was just telling me just to scare me from even trying it. But he told me about one of his assistants who got some from another doctor, got Ozempic from another doctor, and she just got all of the shots, and she misread it, where it was supposed to be so many ounces a week for 12 weeks, and she thought it was supposed to be 12 ounces that she was supposed to take, and so she was flooding her system with this from the jump, and she got sick and died from it. So I just want to get your opinion when it comes to the use of GLP-1s, because a lot of people are using these instead of trying to go to the gym or instead of trying to eat right or change their nutrition.
Absolutely. And so the first thing, particularly with any sort of drug or drug approach, is one exactly like what you did, Russ. Have the conversation with your doctor. I'm going to be fully transparent. I'm not a doctor. And so having that conversation is first and foremost. Second, how you can utilize GLP-1s is they are a tool to be used. They are a tool to be used amongst other tools. You produce GLPs, the peptides in your body naturally. Your body just cycles, it dissolves within the body, gets out of the body so quickly. So taking it pharmacologically allows it to stay in your system longer. And so you'll find things like gastric emptying slows. You'll find that your satiation increases. You will have some cognitive benefits from, you won't seek food as a reward sort of idea. There's been a lot of studies shown that helps with smoking, helps with alcoholism, helps with gambling, helps with a lot of the pleasure seeking behaviors, just as food is one of those components where people turn to food for pleasure seeking, for dealing with loss, dealing with stress, dealing with a lot of these emotions. We are naturally turned to, hey, we're going to turn to food. So a GLP-1 can stem a lot of those almost emotional responses as it pertains to food. Exactly like you said, though, is a tool to be used amongst other tools, because what you find is people are satiated. They don't want to eat. And so they lose a lot of weight almost because of they're just not hungry. And so they stop eating. And so the problem you end up running into from a nutrition standpoint is the flip side of the same coin, because basically someone might be starving themselves. They might be undernourished. And so you might be in the longitudinal changing obesity for sarcopenia or the loss of lean muscle tissue, especially when it's not utilized as a tool amongst tools. So we look at, I've got quite a few members that are on my rosters that are on GLPs. What we look for is hitting calorie minimums as opposed to hitting calorie maximums. What does their protein intake look like to avoid any undue muscle loss? And then the other important part of that is ensuring that they're getting some level of resistance training in as well into the program itself to be able to maintain as much lean mass as you can, but also increase. You've seen some studies with the loss of overall bone mass as well, which if you lose weight, you're going to lose bone mass. That was generally to be expected. But how do we make it to the point that it's not detrimental to someone's long-term health?
Right.
Wow.
Now, Doc,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, Ben, you mentioned cognitive nutrition, right? You break that down a little bit. What is that for? Just say anybody. Explain it to us.
Absolutely, Les. And so when I say cognitive nutrition, we look at nutrition from a behavioral aspect lens. Ultimately, where the mind goes, the body follows. And so we look at nutrition as a lens by which decision making is made. How do you deal with stress? How do you deal with situations? How do you plan ahead? How do you deal with maintaining your composure around the decisions around food? And so do you sit down when you eat? How do your meals look? How do your planning look? How do you deal with the holidays? How do you deal with family? We take them in because all of those have a huge impact on somebody's ability to eat in accordance with their plan. Most people just overrun their skill set. What we see almost, because we very much fight the kind of all or nothing thinking or all or nothing language as it pertains to nutrition, right? Almost everybody has gone on some level of diet prior to coming to Trevor Kashey Nutrition, and ultimately put back on the weight, right? And how does the outlet look? Because everybody's like 12 weeks to new me, 12 new year, new me, that sort of outlook as it pertains to nutrition and training and things like that. Well, what happens when the 12 weeks is over? Life continues on. And so we don't even look at it as it pertains to dieting in the conventional sense. We train you for life. We train you to develop the skills, the emotional intelligence, the planning to be able to execute your nutritional plan, and so that it arms you for life. Most people love getting their shit together. It's new, it's exciting, right? Keeping your shit together is the hard part.
Absolutely.
No doubt. Yeah.
So
awesome.
I want to go back just a little bit because you were talking about trying to keep a calorie minimum. Now, do you find that a lot of people really, because they're not hungry and they don't want to force themselves to eat, are starting to drink those calories to just make sure that they hit those marks, like with orange juice, sodas, maybe even alcohol, just to add those calories back in?
That can be a great tactic, Russ, particularly on a
Mhm.
GLP-1 in terms of decreasing the amount of food volume. And so
Mhm.
supplementing to things that go down easier, liquids, juices, things like that. Alcohol is going to present kind of a sticky pickle just due to the
Right.
nature of how alcohol gets broken down in the body. Alcohol is just a low grade toxin at almost any level. But absolutely, if someone is struggling with the amount of volume, the amount of bloating, the amount of potential nausea of things,
Mhm.
flipping things around to be able to be like, hey, think about things in terms of still getting calories in, juices, protein shakes, things that make it easier on the digestive system and clear through the digestive system quicker can be a very viable technique in order to still get the essential macronutrients like protein, carbs, things like that, while decreasing the amount of food volume that someone might be undertaking.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a break in just a moment, but before we do that, we got a quick game for you.
Oh boy.
And this game is just for the Man Space Nation to get to know how Ben Fudge's mind works a little bit. And this game is going to be called Lightning Round. Lightning Round. All right. So what's going to happen here? We're going to vary, Man Space Nation. If you guys are familiar with Lightning Round, we're going to vary from it a little bit. We're going to do a word association version of
boy.
Lightning Round. So
You're in trouble, Ben. You're in trouble.
Tell. When he said we had a game, I was already nervous, and now I got a Michigan guy with me as well. I'm going to be set up for failure here.
So Les is going to give you a word, and you just kind of say what comes to mind. All right. We're going to give 60 seconds. You're going to hear music in the background. When the music stops, the time is up. So when you guys are ready, we'll get started.
Hold on. We're not ready. I don't have my list of words for Ben.
Okay.
I can make them up.
Michigan better be on there.
I can make them up, but I don't know.
We can agree. We can agree on Alabama. Throw Alabama on there, and we'll.
Yeah, there you go.
Now I'm
I should not be catching strays here.
You shouldn't be, but you started it. You shouldn't be, but my friend, you started it. All right.
His stalling techniques are working. Let's see. He's stalling for the Man Space Nation here.
Listen.
Do I need to put up, your He-Man picture again while you're stalling? Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be completely honest here. I don't have. I don't have it. It's not.
Okay. So
whatever.
Then when you're ready, we'll get started.
Let's do this. I'm ready. I think. I don't know.
All right. So the first question is going to be Michigan.
Overrated.
Oh.
Could have gone way worse for there last. I'm just going to go overrated.
Discipline.
Misunderstood.
Ranger.
Elite.
Cheat day.
Not a thing.
Comfortable.
Men.
Sleep.
Essential.
Six-pack.
Overrated.
Disney.
Oh, step count. Hot.
Motivation.
Again, misunderstood.
Diet.
No such thing.
Protein.
Muscles.
And comfort food.
Emotional response.
And that is our lightning round.
Whew, that one was interesting.
I'm sweating. I was nervous. You guys got me. I was like, whew, the competitive nature got me going there, guys.
Well, we're going to give you a second to regroup here, Ben.
All right.
And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of the Man Space Podcast. And we are back with our special guest, Ben Fudge. Now, Ben, there's, we kind of got into the diets and the meal replacements. And you mentioned how guys have tried it, guys get off, and they end up gaining all the weight back. And a lot of times they gain even more than they were before they ever started. Mm-hmm. So for a guy that's tried every type of meal plan app out there and have failed, why does moving away from such a rigid plan actually work better than that plan?
It's a great question, because most diets in their respective term of time bound, things like that, really overwhelm the skill set, right? Because what do most diets ask you to do, Russ? You're going to run. You're going to go to the gym. You're going to diet. You're going to do exactly what I tell you to do. You're going to eat exactly what I tell you to eat in this caloric deficit. You're going to have this support system for 12 weeks and you're gung ho. And just like we were talking earlier, getting your shit together is fun, exciting. But there's very different skill sets with the two of getting your act together and keeping your shit together. And so how do you manage that over time? Because there's a great chance that you haven't experienced everything within that diet window that they've tried before. What happens when the holidays roll around? What happens when you've got graduation, when you've got party, when you've got tough days at work, right? What we really work on at Trevor Kashey Nutrition is we take things in an incremental approach so that you can learn the skills required in order to meet that goal. And so throughout that process, you've got this goal, which is great, but you become the person that reaches those goals. If the goals don't happen in spite of, you become the type of person that reaches those goals. So when we look at nutrition, the first thing that we would do, Russ, if you came on my roster, is I just want you to track everything that goes in your mouth calorically for 2 weeks. How simple does that sound?
Right.
It's no targets, nothing from, I want you to hit a calorie target. I want you to hit a protein target, nothing. Yeah. I just want you to practice tracking accurately for 2 weeks. That's where I'd start.
This is not so much of tracking the calories that are associated with what you put in, just listing down what you actually eat throughout the day. What you eat, and then whether you use MyFitnessPal or whatever, just being aware of what you're currently intaking calorically and macro wise. Okay. So carbs, fats, proteins, and calories, right? The 4-4-9 method. Just track your food. I don't just, however you behave right now, I want you to start building your awareness, because that awareness is the fundamental building block of what everything else is built upon. Are you aware of the decisions and how they impact you either toward or away from your goals? Gotcha. And then we start leveling things up. All right, now that you're aware of how to plan things out, then I would add, can you hit a certain calorie number, a calorie target? And then we might get into calories and protein to ensure that you're getting the building blocks to sustain lean mass. And so we take a very incremental approach
so that you're learning the skills along the way. How do you plan? How do you hit these targets? How do you hit these targets on the weekend, on the holidays, on these things?
Right.
And how do you open and close your aperture based off of your plan so that you're not having those frustrations where you just get the case of the effets and have 4, 5, 6,000 calories a day, because all those calories still matter.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that, because there's a classic line out there that says you can't out-train a bad diet.
Well, I will actually sit on my high horse here, since you'll have me, and say 99% yes, they're less, 100% no. Because 99% yes, because theoretically, if you wanted to, you could outwork that pizza. You could. Most people
how long it's going to take.
And how long can you do that until you go, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't want to go out and run a marathon just to eat a pizza.
Yeah. And it definitely won't do it afterwards.
Right, exactly. How long do you want to do that? And most people, like, if it's not one of those things that to say you can't enjoy pizza. Absolutely enjoy pizza. Just also understand the trade-offs therein. If it works within your plan, great. Enjoy the pizza. Are you willing and okay with, if I have this whole thing, that I might have to work it off over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks? That's on you to decide.
What would you say to people who use it as a stress reliever, man? It's a real disorder out there.
It is. It is. And as human beings, we can find almost any reason to eat. We can find any reason. And marketing's great. We learn it from a young age. What do you do on celebratory times as well? You eat. What happens when you do when you're stressed? You eat and drink. Right? We can find any reason and rationalize any reason to eat. And so another thing that we work on throughout that time is going into those events or within those things of either a plan and being aware of how your stress, how your frustration tolerance is over the course of the day, over the course of the week, things like that. You got to deal with people over the course of the day at work. So chances are you're going to be more impulsive later on in the evening. Great. What are the strategies and the techniques to be able to do something else? And what are those other things? What instructions do you give yourself when those stressors come up? When I feel stressed, instead of going to food, I'm going to insert other thing here. Is it going to work? Maybe. But right now, most people know that turning to food in those instances isn't serving them. And so if you know that isn't serving you, confirmation bias is a real thing. Comfort bias, the things you know already, the things you've learned and reinforced over time, you're incentivized to do something else. Is that something else? Are you going to be nervous to do that something else the first time? Absolutely. Your brain's going to be screaming at you. The keys follow through and understanding that it's just simply running an experiment and it's not a judgment on you. That's where a lot of people get hung up, is that all or nothing thing. Very similar to the old adage that you just utilized of you cannot work a bad diet. The one that most people are very familiar with is you are what you eat. Right? And if you eat junk, what does that make you, Les?
Junkie.
Is that true?
No.
You're less, right? You're less. You ate food, right? We give too much of our power towards food. You don't have a relationship with the food. You have a relationship with yourself and you have a relationship with the other people around you. You just decided to eat food during that time. And it's okay. And you can learn. And you've learned when under stress, when in coping mechanisms, to turn to food. And you know why that's good? Because that means you can learn to do something else.
I mean, kudos to those who can, because it's hard to turn away from some ice cream sometimes, bro.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm right there with you. I love my sweets. I love my chocolate chip cookies at the end of the day.
But you're right though. It's a mindset too. You have to know
It is.
you have
It
to
is a
do
mindset.
something.
Yeah.
You have to do something different, and you just got to continue to move forward,
Yeah.
And that idea of discipline, right, that we talked about even in the lightning round, where I said it was misunderstood. Most people
Yeah.
think of discipline as something that you have to hate, like that disciplined people just generally do stuff that they don't like to do. How long are you guys going to do something that you don't like to do? Probably not for very long, right? And so we take a different approach. Our definition of discipline is when the mind and the body work together.
Okay.
I like that. I like that. But speaking of working together, so can you break down the stimulus, response, and outcome model for us? Kind of walk us through what that actually means.
Love it. I love it. That's a very deep question. So stimulus, an activating event, right? Something happens to you. It happens all the time. We just don't really think about it. And so again, talking about awareness being the fundamental building block for everything. Something happens to you. You're stressed at work. You get something happen, an activating event that triggers a thought, feeling, and urge that always happens, even conversation. And then it flows into your response. How do you decide to respond? And then that response generates an outcome. That outcome further generates another stimuli, and round we go. At the center of that is your belief system. Your belief system and really your experience, socialization, things like that play an integral part in that belief system, because that belief system is going to play into how do you view the stimulus? How do you view your response? How do you view the outcome? And round we go. And so how do you create space, particularly when you are learning something new, to be able to formulate a response to get the outcome that you want? So it's, if you picture it like a triangle, at the pinnacle is the stimulus. And then you've got a line leading to your response. How do you make that line as large as you possibly can by giving yourself time and space to be able to think through what is a response that gets me to my long-term outcome? And that can be a challenging thing because we've reinforced behaviors over time, over and over and over again.
Yeah. Wow. Well, let me ask you this. Why do people struggle so much to maintain, I call this a fictional word, motivational, after their initial burst of enthusiasm wears off,
I love it. Where's the motivational gland and how do I train it?
So you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know exactly about it. Because the systems and the structure that people put in place, they haven't practiced it enough to be proficient. And then when things naturally fall apart, they go, oh my God, I'm this terrible person that doesn't deserve anything good in life. And the only way that I've learned to cope with some of these thoughts, feelings, and urges is by turning to food. And so that in and of itself, one, that novelty fades. You're left with your skills and your systems. So if you haven't deliberately and on purpose and purposely developed those skills and worked through those skills, that's why we find that a lot of people revert back to old and learned behaviors, because you've practiced behaviors for years, for decades, for multiple decades sometimes. And so to expect that I'm going to behave in this new way, this new disciplined way after 12 weeks, I mean, how long did it take you to learn how to drive a car before you were proficient?
Exactly. Yeah.
And felt comfortable driving at night, in the rain, in the snow, right? It just takes time and experience. And honestly, sometimes screwing it up.
Yeah. You got to keep going through it. Yeah. You got to mess it up.
You got to mess it up. And that is one of the things that I think a lot of people, even in the fitness and nutrition space, get a bit convoluted is you always hear about people being consistent. You want people to be consistent. You want people to be consistent. You got to be consistent. You hear it time and time again. And it's like, I want people to be persistent. I want you to persist. I want you to work through those stressors. I want you to work through the times that you mess it up and go, you know what? What did I learn from this? How do I keep going? because the only time that you actually fail is when you give up, give up on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
say, you know what? This is me. This is the new me.
Yeah. Yeah. So there seems to be I guess a way to keep going is this reward-based behavior.
Mhm.
So how can people use that to kind of help improve their fitness lives?
Absolutely. Great question. Because reinforcement is key. How do you reinforce doing things that get you closer to your goal? And it's through that awareness, through the data that you gather, so that you can look back and go, you know what? I'm not quite at my goal yet, because I'm going to break it to you. And it's going to take longer than you want. Like weight loss, fitness, it's going to take longer than you want. And so how do you recognize progress? Because if you haven't stepped on the scale repeatedly, if you haven't done the behaviors, if you haven't practiced time and time again, and you don't have a data trail, it's easy to get caught up in well, I'm not at my goal yet. And so anything short of that goal is failure. If I told you, and then this has actually happened I have this happen quite a bit with members where it's just like, I'm not there yet. You're right. Like, objectively, sure, I can agree with that. But damn, you're a lot freaking closer than you were 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so how do you keep going? You recognize the progress, like, damn, I have changed. I have done some really good things. And by looking at it, because you've done really good things, what also does that show? I can keep doing good things.
Yeah. I want to go back just for a brief moment, because we jumped way in and never really went back to what the program Trevor Kashey Nutrition is actually all about. I'm sitting here on the website.
We completely missed that one, didn't we?
That's all right. That's all right.
Missed that one. And I've been scrolling through the website and looking through the plans, and I see, this the app and it's a monthly program. And for those who may be wondering, the monthly access is $29 a month. If you want the annual access, 50% off if you do for a year, $134.97 for the year, and you can cancel anytime. So that cheap plug, there you go.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Russ.
That is on the website. You can go to the website trevorkasheynutrition.com and get that information. So I'm looking through the website. There's articles on here for fitness. There's recipes for different foods and things like that. There's the whole community section. There's the support section. Just kind of explain what the program itself is all about.
Absolutely. And so we've got 3 primary programs within Trevor Kashey Nutrition. What you've described there, Russ, is we have the One Body on Demand app. And so if you're just, hey, I want to get my feet wet, I want to see what Trevor Kashey Nutrition is all about, the app is a great place to start. Set up very similar to MyFitnessPal, where you're going to be able to learn how to track your food. You're going to get access to pre-made programmings. I make almost all the pre-made programmings in there. And then the big thing that you get is that sense of community. You get to attend what we call the roadblock calls. We hold roadblock calls Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, each and every week, where we have a live lecture with myself or one of the other coaches that arm you with skills. It's a Zoom presentation. We have people from all over the world where we present a 30-minute quick little lesson to be able to arm you with more skills to be able to navigate life's complexities across situations, friends, family, vacations, stress, all of those things. So if someone's interested in just dipping their toes in the water, seeing what this is all about, One Body on Demand is great. The next level up, we have our Kickstart program. Kickstart is the initial 12-week program where you're going to get customized coaching. You're going to get a course made by Dr. Trevor Kashey, where he breaks down some of these things in more detail, starting to develop the SRO model in more detail, how to manage stress, how to grow what he calls a backbone instead of a wishbone, how to set boundaries with other people, how to communicate with others, how to give yourself specific instructions to do more cool things. And then what happened, the next even premier level is where I come in with a bunch of other really cool, really awesome people, is we have a one-on-one coaching program where we are with members, with clients for I've got members that I've been with for over 2 years. We can do it on a month-to-month basis. We can do it on a year basis. We can really meet the member where they're at, where you're going to get, again, more advanced lessons on the SRO model, thinking fast and slow, how your system 1 and system 2 brain work, so that you can work through that sort of reacting versus responding and work through those skills. Then you also have support, because like we mentioned earlier, life is cyclical. And so having support systems throughout when life gets complicated in the summer, when life has the holidays, when life has this, so you're going to get custom within the one-on-one program, you're going to get custom coaching. You're going to get custom macros and meal planning and macronutrient. You're going to get skill-based. You're going to get the community, because we have live lectures, all those roadblock calls. So you have a sense of community that you're going to be able to grow into and have a supportive community, because as you guys have mentioned, even within the transitioning out of the military, it's easy to feel alone in this. Just like when you start taking control of your health, when you start behaving differently, people are going to start asking questions. People are going to start being like, Russ, you guys used to be all sorts of fun. And now here you are counting calories and like not going out to the bar with the boys and things like that. And that's pressure, right? They have noticed that you were behaving differently. So having a community to be able to support you through those times and help keep you on the straight and narrow and really keep your shit together is a very foundational part to lifelong progress.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I can even see that to the point of being in the gym, because I mean, it's even intimidating in the gym a lot of times. I go in there, and if it's crowded in the gym, I'll do my cardio, I'll go to the sauna, and then I'm out. I'm not even going over to the weight section, because, I'm not as strong as I was, 20 years ago, where, I'm getting under the bench and, doing 300 on the bench. I can't do that today.
We'll be visiting you.
Embarrass myself.
Yeah, we'll come visit you, Russ.
So I can see where that community can really come into play, and that support, because I will look and I'm just like, I'm just not doing it. And you can very easily lose that whole motivation to even go to the gym, just because of you don't want to deal with that.
You don't want to deal with it. And here's the thing there, Russ, is you run into that. We run into that all the time. I had a conversation with a member. She's like, well, I was seeing all this. I was seeing all the other people make all this progress. And it's like,
right.
Comparison can be such a hard thing to work through, because are you as strong as you were, Russ? No, but you're stronger than you were yesterday. Just by showing up for yourself and saying yes to a brighter future. And might we get back to 300 pounds? Who knows? Maybe, right? We'll figure it out along the way. But the key is that you're stronger than you were yesterday. You're better, more informed, and living healthier than you were yesterday, or even the last meal. So right back to that reinforcement of you showed up. What behaviors and what problems are you trying to solve and reinforce?
Love that.
Because honestly, how do you want to show up for yourself? Do you want to show up for yourself and go to the gym? Great.
Right.
More than likely, you want to show up for your future, for your family, or whatever your side effects of change are.
Yeah.
That's what it's about now. Being around. See the little ones grow,
being around for yourself, being around for your family, being around for the people that love and care about you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the thing that kills me is that people wait until it is a medical and almost emergency, right? Because there's almost no other choice. What happened if someone in that position took ownership and responsibility over the decisions in their life 10 years ago. They might not have even gotten to that point. And so that is the thing that I always encourage is like, take control and take ownership of your life, responsibilities, and your health, even when it's not a problem, emergency right now.
Yeah. A good friend of mine, Mark Rodriguez, would say, and he just passed not too long ago. He had complications from celiac disease, but he would say how a lot of times we have the Superman disease, it's I'm invincible. Nothing's going to stop me. And you feel that way until you get that kryptonite. And once that kryptonite hits and you realize, oh, well, maybe I'm not so invincible anymore. Exactly. And so that sometimes it has to be that wake-up call, because for us as men, we are taught to be tough. We're taught to be strong. We're taught to be, we're the head, we're the alpha, and we're the leaders, right? So we have to be up. We don't have the time to be sick. We don't have the time to be hurt. We gotta be out there. So until something actually happens and you get that wake-up call, you still feel like you're invincible. And then there's a lot of people that just feel like, well, I've lived a good life. If it, not gonna worry about it. And what do you say to those people?
If you've given up on yourself, I'm sorry. And I hope that you find the strength to take the responsibility and the power over your own life back. To the people that still have the crisis of comfort, take action, and take violent action. Take control back. Understand that comfort, particularly for men, is a very dangerous place to be. Complacency, just like you guys, it kills. Just like in the military, when you stop doing things to standard, it is a proverbial cancer, and it can take years. It can take just take control back, take your power back over your own life and your own decisions, and just start with I'm going to go for a walk around the neighborhood or around the block and see where that goes. Start winning, because as you guys know from our military days, nothing perpetuates winning like winning. You might not want to run at 6 a.m, but you know what? When you got done with that run at 6 a.m, you felt pretty darn good about yourself.
You accomplished something.
Exactly.
And I tell people all the time, until you've been in the military and you've done that PT at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning or in the evening, that puts you on a path for the day.
100%.
And how successful you handled that day, that morning PT session will push through the rest of that day.
Absolutely. And the thing that is key that you mentioned there is you might not want to. You can feel a certain type of way about that morning PT. You can feel a certain way about that alarm clock going off at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And you know what you still did? I felt a certain way, and I still went to PT.
Still got up.
I still ran. Still did push-ups, sit-ups, whatever they asked to do.
And just like in the nutrition side, you can feel stressed and behave differently. No one's saying you can't feel the feels. You can feel a certain way and still behave in accordance with your desired long-term goals.
Absolutely. Love it. Man, Ben, this has been a tremendous episode. I mean, and there's so much more that we could
so much more to unpack.
We could keep going. Another 2 hours. Let's go.
Right. I think the Bad Space Nation is probably getting a little restless right now and hitting the pause button, but we want to close this out. But how can they follow you? We've talked about the website, but go ahead and give that information again, for the Manspace Nation.
Best way to get in touch with us is trevorkasheynutrition.com. You'll find anything that you need from the One Body on Demand through the Kickstart program. Cool thing about the Kickstart program, if you sign up, there's a money back guarantee. So if you put in the work, guess what? You get 100% in the course. Do what you're told, execute, you're going to get your money back, which is a pretty darn good deal. I'm going to get in some of the best shape of my life. I'm going to start taking control of my life back. I'm going to learn a heck of a whole lot in this Kickstart program, and I'm going to get my money back. Sign me up. I'm going to bet on myself because that's just what we do. You can find us on Instagram. We're building up the YouTube. And so best way to get in touch with us is trevorkasheynutrition.com.
Awesome.
That is tremendous, man. We're going to have to reach out and pull you back in soon so we can just pick back up, especially during football season, because I'm sure that there's going to be some trash talking that needs to happen. Man, this has been great. But, before we let you get out of here, we got to do one last thing, which we call the last word.
And now, the last word.
So, Ben, the last word goes to you. So, for guys who are listening to this episode and feels like he's gotten comfortable, he's lost his edge, but he hasn't hit rock bottom yet, what are the warning signs he should be paying attention to before this comfortability becomes a crisis?
The biggest thing I can tell you is to recognize look at that progress. Look at how you've changed. If you've changed, if you're not happy with the trajectory, I would say take action. Start taking ownership. And where your mind goes, your body follows. So live a life on purpose with purpose.
I love that. Live a life on purpose with purpose.
Where'd you get that from? Is that original? Ben
That's
Fudge?
part of our ethos. That's something that we have baked within all of our programs. So
because Les was about to make that a t-shirt. So
here's my little sticky pen.
He was
honestly, Les, put it on there. See it. Like we always encourage it, where it's just like we have tons of little proverbs, little metaphors, little things like that to help you do, and like stick it on your bathroom mirror, things like that, to remind yourself of what you're doing so that you can live again that life on purpose with purpose.
Awesome, man. Ben, thank you so much. This has been fantastic. Great information. Manspace Nation, I tell you guys, go back and start this episode over and listen to it again. Make sure you get all the information. Go to the website, trevorkasheynutrition.com. And even if you don't sign up, just at least go to the website and get the information and follow and make the best decision for yourself.
Absolutely.
Ben, fantastic, man. We definitely 100% have to have you back on because this has been fantastic. So thank you so much.
Appreciate that.
Les, it's been an absolute pleasure. Les, I'm not going to hold the Michigan thing against you. Russ, I'm not going to hold Alabama against you. And I'm already looking forward to it. We're
definitely not holding Ohio.
Ohio State.
What's a Buckeye? It's a nut.
It's a nut. It's in Ohio. Bunch of cornfields and
nuts.
Not nothing.
Yeah.
Manspace Nation, we'll be back with our closeout right after this. As we do each week, we like to close the show with just a little bit of inspiration. Manspace Nation, you get one life. not a practice run, not a reset button. This is your story. And every single day you wake up, you get to decide what the next chapter looks like. Maybe you've spent too much time doubting yourself. Maybe you've let fear make your decisions. Maybe you've been waiting around for motivation to magically show up before you finally take action. But here's the truth. Motivation comes and motivation goes. Discipline, purpose, and the decision to keep moving forward, that's what changes lives. Your past doesn't own you. Your mistakes don't define you. The setbacks you faced are not proof that you failed. They're proof that you're still here. You're still standing. You're still capable of becoming something stronger than what you were yesterday. Think about it. The person you want to become. Sounds interesting, right? Maybe it's a healthier version of you. Maybe it's a more confident version of you. The ones who keep their promises to themselves are the ones who finish what they start. That person isn't a fantasy. They're built one decision at a time, one workout, one project, one conversation, one day at a time. So stop giving way to your distractions. Stop letting comfort steal your potential. The life you've been waiting for isn't waiting somewhere in the future. It's built by what you choose to do today. So stand up, focus on what matters, take the first step, then take the next one, and then just keep going, even when nobody is watching. Because one day you'll look back and realize the moment that everything changed wasn't just a dramatic breakthrough. It was the day when you decided you were done making excuses. So Manspace Nation, reclaim your focus, reclaim your confidence, reclaim your purpose, and most importantly, reclaim your life. Your future is waiting, so go earn it. Until next time.
Wow. That's heavy right there, brother.
Yeah.
Kind of fits in where we were today, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because a lot of what we talked about today is in the grand scheme is reclaiming your life, you know, reclaiming your health. You can reclaim your mental stability, and redo all of those things because, you know, I've heard so many people say, you know, we're here for a good time, not a long time. I want to be here for a long time, brother.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel you, man.
there's a lot of left in me to do. So
but you know, it's a mindset switch, you know, and if you something you want, you go after with all the vigor, but you got to want it to go get it.
Yeah.
You want a new car, you'll go work overtime to get a down payment.
That's right.
You know,
but I mean, if you want to really enjoy it, you got to take care of that temple that you got, right?
Absolutely.
So that means putting the proper fuel in it. I mean,
absolutely.
You put bad fuel in your car, you're not going to go very far.
You're not going to go far. Absolutely.
So
you
know, hey, let's
it's going to cost you a lot when it's time to get it fixed. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
You're right about that. So, Manspace Nation, you know it happens on Monday nights because this episode and every new episode airs 2 days early on WTMS TV at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. WTMSTV.com. You catch the latest episode 2 days early before it airs to the rest of the world. And then there is Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on WTMSTV.com. It is Throwback Thursdays with back-to-back episodes of the Manspace podcast. And then, you know what else we got to say? Don't miss out. It's Russ and Less freshman year. It's available now.
It's out.
It's out. It is available. I know it says coming soon on the screen, but it is available. Go to the manspacepodcast.com, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and there's the link to pick up the book, Russ and Less freshman year.
Boy, it was a time at Ridgemont High, brother. It was a time had. It was a time had.
And on that note,
we out of here.
No gimmicks, just game that my sure in sight. They shine like the city on a Friday night. Man talk, real talk, that's the way that you bless. Giving knowledge and some laughs in the same finesse. From life goals to the jokes that hit. They the tag team champs, yeah, legit with the wit. So pull up a chair, let the stress digest. From the beat drops, you know the rest. You go chillin' with Russ and Less. You go chillin' with Russ and Less. You go chillin' with Russ and Less. Hang out, cause now you vibing with nothing but the best. Space forever.
Oh, what's a Buckeye? It's a nut, you know.